out here with Dan Weber after USC's 17-14 win over Utah, the first Pac-12 game played here in the Coliseum. We're going to have to start with that last crazy play. And what we don't think Coach Kiffin and the team is realizing right now is they are the first team to be penalized for the new celebration rule and had points actually taken off the board.
Yeah, I mean, when we went to the Pac-12 officiating seminar, and I don't think they ever visualized that it would happen to an entire team. I mean, I think all the examples were of a player does something. For example, Torrin Harris, who actually ran the ball in tonight, was the guy last year who jumped into the end zone on a blocked extra point, and that would have been taken off the board, and everybody was using that as the example. This year, Torrin does it right, and the whole team runs out on the field, so they get so at least no one player gets blamed or coach.
Well, Mark Tyler was the player of the game tonight, and as we all know, it was his first time returning to the field here at the Coliseum. Did you think he was going to get as many carries as he did?
I kind of agree with Mark and Lane, and they kind of looked at it differently. Mark said, I was only in there, in terms of what they put in for me this week on goal line things and some short yardage plays. Lane said, I thought the game was going to turn into a situation where we would need a power back in a close game. He said once DJ Morgan put the ball on the ground, that guaranteed that they were basically going to go with only the upperclassmen, only with Dylan Baxter and Mark Tyler. So Lane said he wasn't surprised to see it go this way, but Mark, I think, was a little surprised.
Do you think having Tyler in there put pressure off of Barkley to not throw as much as he had to do against Minnesota?
I think just the very fact, if you saw the first touchdown, Mark just fits with the blockers the way a veteran does. He just kind of, whereas there are times where you would see maybe somebody just makes a cut a little too soon or makes a cut probably not exactly where the hole was, and Mark is, he's a senior, he's been around. As he said, I'm 23 years old now. I kind of, I shouldn't be making the kind of mistakes that got him in trouble off the field, but he also can make the plays on the field. He just sort of relaxes behind the blockers and seems to not force himself into situations where he doesn't have a nice seam in the line of scrimmage.
A few new players were added into the rotation tonight. How do you think that they helped USC tonight?
Well, it got pretty hot there at the end. I think Nickel Roby was in on so many plays. They finally had to put Robert Woods in, the second last punt. I think they're going to need more and more players. Torrin Harris, got knocked out for a while. We were seeing things like, Andre Walker was in there, Jeremy Galton, poor Martin Coleman, who gets his first start and gets his shoulder knocked out of place. And he came back once, I guess, but couldn't finish the game out. So they had to finish out with Galton in there. It was good to see Andre Walker on the field, for the first time, and Dawson and guys like that. That's these games that come down to the very end, the very last play, you got to try to be as fresh as you can be. And it's getting them there. I'm still not sure they, played enough players tonight, but they're playing a few more.
All right, well, that wraps up it for us here at the Coliseum. We'll see you next week when USC takes on Syracuse back here for a third straight home game. Thanks so much.